before the fame, before the awards, before the world knew the name Eminem. They were just a kid from Detroit, broke, angry, and invisible. He didn't have money. He didn't have support. What he had was a notebook full of words and a dream nobody believed in. His life wasn't a movie back then. It was noise, police sirens, shouting neighbors, eviction notices. He grew up watching his mother struggle just to pay rent. He watched his father walk out and never come back. Most people in his situation gave up, but he didn't. He started writing. Rhymes, thoughts, pain, anything that made him feel alive. Years later, those words would echo across the world. But back then, they were just his way to survive. This is the real story of Marshall Bruce Mathers III, the man they call Eminem. The battles, the music, the heartbreak, the money, and the fame, all of it. From sleeping in a trailer to owning mansions. From being mocked for chasing rap, to becoming one of the greatest to ever hold a mic. This is his life, unfiltered. Marshall Bruce Mathers III was born on October 17, 1972, in St. Joseph, Missouri. His parents were part of a small band that played in local clubs. Money was tight. Stability didn't exist. When his father left, his mother Debbie raised him alone, moving from city to city across Missouri and Michigan. They lived in trailer parks and cheap apartments. Sometimes, they didn't even unpack before having to move again. Marshall went to more than 20 schools before dropping out in the 9th grade. He was quiet but quick-tempered. Kids bullied him for being different, for being poor. He got beaten up. He got jumped. He nearly died once after a school fight left him in a coma for over a week. At home, things weren't much better. His relationship with his mother was toxic, constant arguing, lawsuits, accusations. Years later, he'd talk about it in his music. But back then, he was just trying to make it to the next day. He started writing rap lyrics when he was 14. Music was an escape from everything else. He listened to LL Cool J, Run DMC, and Beastie Boys, studying every rhyme and rhythm. Detroit's hip-hop scene became his world. He'd sneak into clubs and battle rappers twice his age. Sometimes he won. Sometimes he got laughed off stage. But every loss made him better. He didn't have a plan B. Music was it. By the time he turned 17, he was performing under the name Eminem, later stylized as Eminem. He recorded demo tapes, sold them from his car, handed them out to DJs, anyone who would listen. Most didn't, but he kept going. He was broke, angry, and obsessed. He released Infinite in 1996, his first album. It flopped. No one cared. Critics said he sounded too much like Nas or Jay-Z. But that failure sparked something darker. It gave birth to his alter ego, Slim Shady. The sarcastic, violent, unapologetic side of him that said everything Marshall couldn't. Slim Shady changed everything. In 1997, he recorded the Slim Shady EP, and it started floating around the underground rap scene. That's when Dr. Dre heard it. Dre didn't know who he was, just some white rapper from Detroit. But he heard the raw talent and said, "Find him." Eminem flew to Los Angeles, played his demo for Dre, and within minutes they started recording. Their first song together, My Name Is, became an instant hit. It was funny, violent, and unlike anything else on the radio. In 1999, the Slim Shady LP dropped under Aftermath Entertainment. The world wasn't ready. It went triple platinum. Eminem was everywhere, MTV, radio, award shows. But fame didn't feel like success. It felt like pressure. Everyone wanted Slim Shady, the crazy, dangerous version of him. But behind that mask was still Marshall, trying to stay sane. Eminem met Kimberly and Scott when they were teenagers. She was tough, wild, and just as lost as he was. They fell hard. They fought harder. Their relationship became as famous as his music. Love, hate, breakups, makeups. They married in 1999. Divorced in 2001. Remarried in 2006. Divorced again months later. But no matter what happened between them, one thing held them together. Their daughter, Haley Jade. Haley became his anchor. He rapped about her constantly. Songs like Mockingbird, Haley's Song, and When I'm Gone showed a softer side no one expected. Through her, fans saw Marshall Mathers, not Slim Shady. He also took responsibility for 2 more daughters. Elena, his ex-wife's niece, and Stevie, another child Kim had from a later relationship. He raised them all like his own. To him, family meant second chances. Eminem's story is one of the biggest turnarounds in modern music, from food stamps to Forbes lists. By the 2020s, his net worth was estimated at around $250 million, maybe more, depending on who you ask. He made money not only from albums, but from Shady Records, his label, and multiple business deals. But here's the thing, he's not a show-off. You won't see Eminem flashing jewelry or flexing cash on Instagram. He lives quietly, mostly in Michigan. One of his homes in Rochester Hills reportedly spans over 15,000 square feet, with tennis courts, a pool, and a guest house. But he keeps it private. He also opened Mom's Spaghetti, a restaurant named after the lyric from Lose Yourself. It's a nod to his roots and to the fans who know every bar by heart. Even though he can afford anything, yachts, jets, private islands, he chooses simplicity. No wild parties, no crecimiento, just family, work, and the occasional studio session. The lifestyle looks rich from the outside, but it's disciplined. He treats money as a tool, not an identity. He learned early that fame can vanish overnight, so he stays grounded. Every dollar he earns is proof of how far he came from the trailer park. Every investment, a reminder that success can be quiet. Now let's talk about one thing he definitely enjoys: cars. Eminem's garage is full of machines most people only dream about. He's owned a Ferrari 575 M Maranello, a Porsche Carrera GT, a Ford GT, an Aston Martin V8 Vantage, a Lamborghini Aventador, and a Porsche 911 GT3 RS, just to name a few. Each one is handcrafted perfection, sleek lines, roaring engines, elegance in motion. His love for cars isn't about showing off. It's personal. Cars were one of the first things he dreamed about when he was broke. Now, they're a reward, symbols of what hard work can buy. He's especially loyal to Porsche. He's said to love how understated they are, powerful but not loud. That fits him perfectly. The man doesn't need to shout anymore. His success speaks for itself. Some estimate his car collection is worth around $20 million. And it's not just about speed, it's about legacy. He's built something he can look at and say, I earned this. Not through luck, through grind, pain, and persistence. Eminem has never been afraid of conflict. His lyrics have targeted pop stars, politicians, and himself. He's been banned, criticized, and censored, yet his albums keep selling. He turned anger into art. His honesty made people uncomfortable, but it also made him immortal. Few artists have influenced culture the way he did. The word "stan," born from his 2000 song, is now in the dictionary. He redefined rap for an entire generation. He also faced addiction and nearly lost everything. Pills took over his life after years of non-stop touring and stress. But in 2008, he got sober. His album Recovery in 2010 told that story. It wasn't just music, it was a confession and a comeback. He's been criticized, canceled, celebrated, and crowned. But through it all, he stayed real. He said what he felt, even if it cost him. That's why his fan base never left. They didn't just listen to his songs, they grew up with him. Today, Eminem is more private than ever. He rarely gives interviews. He pops up for guest verses, delivers bars that remind everyone he hasn't lost a step, then disappears again. He's not chasing charts anymore. He's protecting peace. He's focused on family. His daughter Haley runs a successful podcast and social media presence. He quietly supports her away from cameras. He spends time writing, recording, and mentoring younger artists under Shady Records. For him, success now means stability. After decades of chaos, he's finally found calm. When people talk about the greatest rappers alive, his name always comes up, not because of money or fame, but because he never stopped being honest. From a kid scribbling rhymes in a broken home to a man who shaped music history, Eminem's story proves that talent means nothing without hunger, and pain can become power if you refuse to quit. So when you hear that beat drop, when you hear that sharp voice cutting through silence, remember where it started. A notebook, a dream, and a boy from Detroit who just wouldn't give up.